uwager.lv, Sportsbook, and Casino. Sign up today at uwager.lv, the premier online sportsbook, taking wagers since 1998. The most player-friendly lines, weekly juice specials, and a true dime line in MLB. Unique casino platforms with thousands of games. Play poker, high stakes, low stakes, or tournament play. uwager.lv, what we offer. Free same-day payouts. Customer service and wagering support, 24/7, year-round. Free monthly rebates on your action and daily casino rebates. Contests, free bets, best bonuses, and giveaways. Generous referral program. Get an 80% free play bonus on your first deposit, up to $1,000. Sign up today, and use promo code SPORTSWEB. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition, your Monday night edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. How do we start off this show? Because I know that Troy Polamalu wants me to start it off right, so I'll do it as slow as possible. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense.
This guy sucks.
It's not Victory Monday. The Bucs lost, in case you don't know, to the Lions 20-6. Definitely want to hear from you tonight. 727-255-0391. Again, 727-255-0391. As we will hear your bitching, your emoting, your venting. What do you think about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I threw the question out there tonight on Facebook. What's your biggest concern for this team? Is it the lack of offense? I could say that.
Yes!
Maybe. How about the running game? Is that a concern? Probably.
Yes!
The offensive line blocking for the running game, is that a concern? Yeah, I think so.
Yes!
The quarterback play, is that a concern for you?
Yes!
How about the defense? Is that a concern?
Yes!
How about the fan base yesterday? Come on, man. What's that all about? It was like going to a Gator game, not in a good way. You know why? Because there was blue and orange all over the place, and there should have been more orange for the throwback. By the way, were you concerned about the uniforms?
Yes!
I think there's a lot of people concerned. All right, let's go out to the tribal troll here, Mr. Roger Shue. Welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television.
Acknowledge me.
Go ahead, my friend.
What's going on, Peter Blake?
What's going on? Getting ready to get Harry the Greek on here, professional handicapper extraordinaire of the sports web. What's on your mind, boss?
Well, the Bucs scored 6, the Bears scored 13.
Well, there you
We
go.
both suck.
Well, here's the thing and the difference between, and I'll throw this out to a lot of Bucs fans because I'll give you the Aaron Rodgers thing. Relax, because you're still ahead in that NFC South, of course, fighting for first place with the Atlanta Falcons. The other one there with your Chicago Bears, not so much.
1-5, baby.
All right, what else, Roger?
We're the best 1-5 team in the NFL, baby.
I bet you are. It's something to be proud of, my friend. At least you got one win, at least, right?
Yes, and Justin Fields' thumb is screwed, so we're going to be relying on the secret Bajent man, our backup.
Yes.
Tyler Bajent.
Yep. What did you think about the Bucs?
Statistically outplayed Justin Fields.
What did you think about the performance yesterday from the Bucs? That's what we want to talk about.
I did not see one snap of that game.
Oh, you're killing me. All right, Roger. Call back a little bit later. Talk Bears football.
I will do, brother.
All right, appreciate you as always. Let's go ahead and go out to my co-host here. Ask him what his concerns are. Actually, you know what? Let's start out with something. Yeah, let's start out with my co-host here. But let's talk to Mr. Hollywood here on FanDuel. Here we go.
We're here in the Keeneland room where a lot of VIPs take betting very seriously. And I have found no one other than Harry the Greek, I've been told is your name.
Absolutely. It's Harry the Greek. How are you?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Now tell me some of the bets you have for today.
Oh, for sports with FanDuel? Unbelievable. I got some really good upsets this week. I actually played the Bears in the money line, and my upset special is the New York Jets.
Oh, got a sleeper. I like it. Okay, what about for the horse racing today?
Races, a lot of pick fives, pick fours. We're having a fabulous time out here with Keeneland. And I'll tell you what, it's great to be part of DVG and FanDuel.
I love to hear that. And so for anyone that's maybe at home that's new to sports betting at all, what advice would you want to give them?
The one bit of advice, I actually give it out on my podcast at the end. Keep your bets low and your returns high. That's the most important thing. Always stay within your means, but always keep your bets low and your returns high.
Definitely like that safe betting for sure. All right, well, thank you so much and good luck today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Back to you all.
And there you go. All right, big man. FanDuel TV, welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television superstar. What's going on, buddy? A good weekend for you. How you doing?
Peter, what a fabulous weekend. Thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun. Keeneland, shout out. Thank you very much. Oh, there's my Keeneland glass.
Oh, look at that. Little promotion
Oh,
right there.
oh,
Show the
oh, oh,
glass right there.
and a little bit of Keeneland right there. And then that little glass, that's called Blanton's. Blanton's bourbon. Very top notch. Very top notch.
Okay, well, I think there's a lot of Bucs fans out there that need some bourbon after the horrific performance.
Before we get there.
Yes.
If there's anybody that's watching, have you ever been to Keeneland out in Lexington, Kentucky? If you haven't, you need to go visit. This establishment is absolutely, positively top notch. One particular room, they had us in a VIP room, and it was called the Keeneland Room. It's very similar to a clubhouse in any of your pari-mutuel facilities, except this one's just a little bit different. They had an open bar, chefs cooking table side. There's only like 20 exclusive guests that were there. I was hanging out with Mr. Paul LaDuca, former New York Met, and this room was actually made for the Queen of England. It was designed just for her to be able, when she came into the country, so that she can overview and view her horses over the entire track. Buddy, that was a bucket list. TVG was out there, NBC Sports was out there. It was just absolutely incredible. And I'll tell you what, if you ever get a chance to do it, make sure you do it. And don't forget to bet with FanDuel, because I'm telling you right now, it is the place to make your wagers on anything, sports or pari-mutuel.
All right, good stuff there, and stuff for the future to keep in mind. We'll keep you abreast of that situation and how that works out for not only Harry the Greek, but the Sports Web and yours truly. Want to go out to the comments, and then we'll talk about the Bucs. Of course, open phone lines. I want to hear you vent. I want to hear what you have to say. I got in my inbox. Everybody was in my inbox. I want to bitch. All right, bitch about it. 727-255-0391. Again, 727-255-0391. Let's go out to KR. Evening, guys.
What place are the Buccaneers in?
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me? What place are they in?
First place. Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to want to take it.
I know, because you wouldn't know by the response of social media, which, some people say you should get off of. I like getting on it. I like hearing, what people have to say when it comes down to the Bucs. And it went from 2 weeks ago, Baker's a top-notch quarterback, to Baker's a bum. And again,
Do we have to go to the comments right now? Because I really just want to go on a little bit of a little diatribe with you. You don't even have to go single screen.
All right, well, let's go out to the comments really quick. I don't want to neglect them. Let's go out to KR. It's the season premiere of Raw. Hurry up.
KR.
Appreciate you. Thanks a lot, KR. Yeah. First says Anthony Richardson. Hurry up, Pete. Show is 2 hours late. No, it's not. You're late. I'm first. KR. Don't troll us either. Troy, he can call himself Anthony Richardson all day long. That's Troy. Acknowledge me, your tribal chief.
Acknowledge me.
Show is taking forever to start, bro. Sorry about that. What's up, webheads? There you go. Anthony Richardson. Hey, Roger Shoe. Tribal Troll is here. Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge me.
Let's go out to KR. Roger, don't start. Your Bears are going to need a quarterback now that Fields is hurt. Jeremiah says, happy Shadow. Happy. Hello, Shadow. Let's go out to Roger, is the man. KR says the running game and Bulls getting outcoached again. Is that your biggest concern, Bucs fans? That's the question out there for the night. What's your biggest concern going in right now for this team as we sit at 3-2, as this team sits at 3-2? Same old Bucs, nothing new. Christopher Cole, the defense played pretty well. Anthony Richardson, Kalijah Kancey needs to lose weight. He's eating mini donuts. That's ridiculous.
This guy sucks.
I usually give you credit, say that's funny, but it's not, because Kancey actually played well yesterday, and he's not big at all. Primitive Greek, I was going to get my A. Tristan Gay says Baker is Baker. KR says I don't mind a Greek rant. Christopher Cole, but the offense looked like they sat on their butts or slept all 2 weeks. You heard from Todd Bowles. We'll hear from Todd Bowles from yesterday, what he kind of said sluggish so many times there. Let's go out to KR. Keyshawn Vaughn, what did he do to get all that playing time? Todd Bowles addressed that today. Better practice than Sean Tucker at this point. Trade Shayanka, bring back Nacho. Prime time. I thought you said prime time. Facebook user. I think you just saw a sleepy team coming off a bye week. I think they will bounce back next week.
Bingo.
Now you can go ahead. We'll go full screen. You can go on a Greek rant here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Go.
It just seemed like Byron Leftwich was coaching this team on offense this week. Let me explain. 37 pass attempts for 200 yards, 16 rushes for 46.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is just an issue of an inexperienced offensive coordinator. They will work this out. They're still in first place. They're still 3-2. They're in a very weak division. But when you fall down 10-0 at one point in the first half, or even 10-3,
10-3 at halftime, and you feel good about it because you haven't necessarily played well on offense. And I tell you right now, yes,
and he's going to learn that he doesn't have to abandon the running game. You don't have to pass the ball. I said the keys to this game all lied with the running game and the play action pass. You didn't hear me say anything about Baker Mayfield, Chris Godwin, or even Mike Evans catching a whole bunch of passes. It depending on the way they were going to call the game and how many times they were going to run the ball. Whether it was effective or not, that's irrelevant. Of course, everybody wants to be effective. They will always want to see the sticks continue to move. But even if you had 3 consecutive 3-and-outs, I promise you, if the defense did their job in the first half, and for the most part they did, only giving up 10 points, the play action pass really would have worked. It didn't work as much, primarily because you only ran the ball 16 times. I'm going to keep saying it. 16 times is not enough. Even if you're getting beat 35-0, 16 times running the football is not going to get the job done. They need to be a little bit more 50-50 balanced. Now let's go back to the 2 wins that they did have. 2 of the past wins, they were 50-50, if not, within a couple of, attempts from running the football.
Sure.
So that's what the difference is in this past game. Now, look, Detroit, they're a really, really good football team. And I'm going to give you guys a little shocker here. I made an announcement that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were going to beat the Detroit Lions straight out. If you line these 2 teams up again, I'm not too sure I'd stand behind it. Not like I was when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were playing the Philadelphia Eagles, when I said that they would beat this team, and they lost 25-11.
Right.
I'm telling you now, you line those 2 teams up again, and Tampa beats them. They match up a lot better against them. For some reason, Detroit outplayed this team. They took away everything what they were supposed to do right. So before the phone calls start coming in and everybody posting in there, they're crazy. Man, don't get ready to jump off the Skyway Bridge. You still have to support this team. They're 3-2. They're in first place. You have a good quarterback. Either one of them would be playing very well. They just need to get back to the basics of running the football. You cannot win games in this offense. 37 passes, 16 rushes. This isn't a Tom Brady, Bruce Arians led offense.
Yeah.
This is not Kyle Trask. My Lord, please forgive me. Baker Mayfield and the play action pass and an efficient running game. And they did neither or. And for everybody said the defense really didn't play that well, it wasn't fantastic, but they still could have won this football game. That defense played well enough to win. Peter, that's my diatribe.
Well, no, and I agree with you on that. And I tell you right now, when Baker had throws to make, he didn't make those throws. Case in point, on that first turnover, which is deflected, he flinches. He hesitates. He has Mike Evans open. It's most likely going to be a 90-yard touchdown. He's wide open. The safety is flat-footed. And for some reason, he hesitates. He misses Trey Palmer right before halftime. He misses Trey Palmer.
You're gonna miss passes.
I know, but that's what separates you from being a great team and being good and possibly mediocre. I tell you what,
Peter, hold on. You can go to your phone line, but seriously, did Tom Brady not miss a whole bunch of wide open receivers?
I'm not saying he didn't miss wide open
receivers. That's why I'm prepared for anybody who wants to give me any kind of bull crap about why this Tampa Bay team left, and Baker Mayfield sucks and the whole 9 yards.
I'll tell you what, let's hear from Baker Mayfield himself about his performance on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Here we go.
Baker, you guys have been so good on third down. Today was kind of the opposite story. Can you just address?
We sucked today. I sucked today. We sucked today. It was awful from the get-go. I mean, just can't play like that. Didn't start fast. We didn't pick it up in the middle, and we didn't finish strong. So, plain and simple, we have to be better. The Lions are a good ball club that if we play like that, we're going to lose every time. So, I think the defense and special teams did an amazing job yet again, and offense, we just need to pick our shit up. There's really no other way around it.
You missed Palmer a couple times, obviously. Like, if you hit one or two, that's a different game.
Yeah. Not only those two to Trey, but the tipped interception, Mike was going to score a touchdown. Just one of those days where I had everything we wanted, but didn't hit it, didn't execute, and so it's frustrating as hell. So we have to find ways to make it work, and it starts with me, and so we'll fix it.
What's the most frustrating part of it?
Just knowing that the plays are there. There were plays that we should have had and should have executed to where they were game-changing plays, and we didn't do it, and left a lot out there that we should have taken advantage of.
Baker, your coach just said you guys were sluggish coming out of the bye week about 3 or 4 times in this press conference.
I mean,
what's the reason for that?
I don't know, but we'll fix it. I'll fix it. I'll fix my mistakes. I'll fix what I was doing wrong, and we'll get it going. There's zero excuse for our offense to come out and lay an egg like that. That was horrible.
It seemed like it was you weren't able to complete a pass to Mike until the second half, and Trey Palmer, I think you were like 1 of 7 targeting him. Was there anything they were doing with those 2 guys downfield that was making that more of a challenge?
They did a good job passing some things off. I think there were a few plays early on that we could have hit those guys, but didn't exactly do it. And no, they did a good job passing some things off in the red zone. One of the plays on second down in the red zone early on in the game, 2nd and 3, they wound up bringing a pressure. Both Mike and Chris would have had a one-on-one, but they did a good job bringing that pressure to get us out of it. And so, there were definitely plays there that we just didn't have them today.
Baker, Todd said your goal set, your hand came back negative.
Yeah, X-rays are good. Just hurts. Took a nice metal face mask right to the hand, so feels good.
What about the screen game? Because I know even at times when the ground game has kind of struggled this year, it seems like you've been able to lean on that, but that was a little bit more of a struggle today.
A little bit. You know, their guys are real aggressive downhill players, so you saw some of the RPOs that we were able to take advantage of, but then at the same time, when we did hand it off, they would rally and tackle the ball. It was the same things that we talked about earlier in the week. They play extremely hard. They rally. They play for each other, and so you can tell that's a part of them stopping the run game is how hard they play.
Baker, you talked about handling success as well as the low expectations to start the season. You guys feel like you handled the bye week mentally as you should have?
I thought we did, to be honest with you, the mental aspect of it, but now translating it and coming out here and doing our job, absolutely not. So I thought we still had a good week of practice, knocking the rust off after the bye week, but just not to come out here and not execute. That's inexcusable.
An attitude thing? Is it a physical thing of just maybe having too much rest? What do you attribute that to?
At a certain point, we got to get pissed off as an offense.
All right, let's stop it. We got to get pissed off as an offense. We'll come back. Let's go out to the phone lines. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of the Sports Web. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Adam. I'm calling from Davenport. How you doing?
Doing good, buddy. How you doing? First time caller here?
No, we talked about maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, so I figured it's my birthday. I should call you again, right?
Well, happy birthday, buddy.
Well, thank you. I was listening to Harry the Greek. He and I are on the same page. I totally am not worried at all about the Bucs. I want them to learn from the experience of playing these top tier teams.
Okay.
You and I, and you've heard me message you before about how back when the Bucs won the Super Bowl, they lost to the Eagles at home early in the season, and they said right after the game, we're going to play them in the NFC Championship and we're going to whoop their butt, and that's exactly what they did. You have to learn how to beat these top tier teams. Harry and we've talked about this. This is a decent team that nobody gave any hope in hell of doing anything this season.
Okay.
And here we are. Everybody in the NFC South lost yesterday, so we're still in first place. I really think that we're going to hand just really whip up on the Falcons. They are not a good team right now. I am not worried
You
about
don't
this
say.
team.
You don't say the Falcons are no good. Could it be their quarterback position in the Desmond Ridder? Because I am not the biggest fan of him. I agree with you on that. They lose yesterday to the Commanders, who have been up and down. Ridder played an
At
awful
home,
game.
they lose to the Commanders.
Yes.
At home.
Yes.
So
Agree.
and I don't want us to do like the top 4 teams in baseball did this year and get, squeak by and get into the playoffs and then just lay eggs in the playoff.
Right.
I want us to learn from these games to figure out why it is that we can't execute, because I totally agree with Baker. It's about execution. It's about making the extra effort, not effort, but to learn exactly how to do exactly how you're being coached. And yes, we have some new coaches that are also learning. This is a learning experience, and I am not worried whatsoever. Yes, we haven't beaten top tier teams. It will happen.
Is that a
later
concern for you? What's your biggest
No.
concern? You don't have any concerns about coaching. There's no red flags there for you with this team coming out and
No, look at what
Okay.
happened. We didn't lose by 50 points.
It's true. It
our
was a close
defense-
game in the late third quarter. A play here or there.
Yes,
Once again, you make some
yes,
plays. But that's the key
yes.
to it, Adam. And I like the honesty here. Happy birthday, my friend. Harry, he agrees with you here. Go ahead and talk to the birthday boy, Adam.
First off, Adam, happy birthday. Appreciate you calling in and following the Sports Web. You're absolutely correct. A lot of people are going to want to jump off the Skyway Bridge because of the fact this team has already lost something. Look, I love the fans. They're passionate. But how fast? First off, I want to ask you something. How passionate are you, Tampa Bay fans? Last time I checked, did you know there was a 68% turnout for Detroit Lion fans at this game? Shame on you.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Let's start it off by that.
I don't understand that. I would never give up my tickets. I'm sorry.
This wasn't the Chicago Bears,
No.
or this wasn't the Philadelphia Eagles, or the Dallas Cowboys, who the fans travel. These are the Detroit Lions that haven't won shit since I've been born.
Yep.
Okay, I mean, let's just be
Harry,
really honest.
Wait a second, Harry. And I'm not. I would never defend an opposing team's fans, except in this one instance. Okay. I played weekly trivia at various venues all through the area during the week.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest sports trivia question? What team has waited the longest since winning a league championship? We just played them.
Yeah.
These fans are so much waiting for that to happen. It's like they're
hungry.
Chicago Cubs of the NFL right now. Don't you think so, Peter?
I agree with you, and I think they're the NFL darling right now. And ever since last year, week 9, they're 13-3. They're one of the top teams in the National Football League. So everybody is getting on this bandwagon as they should, because
they're gonna have to stay healthy. Now you got David Montgomery being nicked up. They're coming out. They're playing really, really good football in the first part of the year. The team has been on a roll since the later part of last year, but last year doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make a difference because it's this year.
No,
you have to continue the momentum throughout the season. So it's a long season. If they stay healthy, yes, this team could possibly go a long way.
I'm not sure that the Lions are going to be able to stay through it, because they're going to have all of this hype. And I hope for them that they can, go far into the playoffs, because their fans deserve that.
Right.
But I don't want all of this hype to get into their head mentally, because they're not going to be able to keep that intensity. Whereas as a team like the Bucs, as we continue to improve and get better, just like in that 2002 season.
Yeah.
As we head into the playoffs, we're the team that's going to have the momentum. And Peter, what are you thinking about? Well, I mean, I can tell you what I think. I can't believe that we don't have an undefeated team anymore. They're all gone.
It goes back to Harry, what he just said here. I want to pat himself on the back, because he's going to most likely pat himself on the back many times tonight because of this. He's exactly right. The injury situation took its toll yesterday on the San Francisco 49ers. Not only do you lose Christian McCaffrey, not only do you lose Deebo Samuel, but by the way, you lose one of the best left tackles, not named Tristan Wirfs, in your game with Trent Williams there. So
don't forget Philadelphia.
Yeah, and then Philadelphia also. I mean,
what
they lose
happened
Lane
with
Johnson.
the Eagles? The Eagles in New York. I mean, the Browns have a halfway good. The Jets should not have beaten the Eagles. What happened there?
Well, you lose the turnover because Jalen Hurts throws 3 interceptions. You lose your best right tackle. And by the way, you have drop passes at key times. And it really is a simplistic game. And I know what you're going to try to say here that the Philadelphia
it's okay. Hold on. Philadelphia Eagles are a really good football team. They're solid.
Right.
But I'm really sorry. They ran into a better defense. Arguably the best defense in the National Football League, who was a 7.5-point underdog.
Yes.
Yours truly, the Greek said, don't just play the Jets and take the points. Put them on the money line. They were winning this game. Did they get lucky at the end of the game? Yes. But you know what? I'd rather be lucky than good any day of the week. And you know what else, Pete? The Cleveland Browns have a defense too, and they smacked San Francisco in the mouth. Never should have let them drive downfield. I'm sitting at the bar, no bull crap. I'm sitting at the Marriott downtown Lexington, and I'm watching the game. They went down there, and I'm not even sweating. The guy's like, "Who'd you have here?" I said, "I got him. He's going to kick and he's going to push the ball right." And he did. When he kicked it, he pushed the ball right. I just literally almost fell backwards. Again, I'd rather be lucky than right, because tomorrow, no one's going to remember that play. They're just going to remember the win and the loss. And there's no undefeated teams in football. Okay?
And it's so tough to do what the 72 Dolphins have done. And I don't know if it's ever going to happen again, because it is so tough these days.
It's not just that. Listen, in a perfect storm, you're going to have another perfect team. It just depends on what teams are coming to start to play. Listen, the New York Jets know that the only way that they have a chance of even making a playoff spot this year, whether it's wild card or even a divisional game, it's going to be through that defense.
Yeah.
Their offense is going to move the ball. Hey, Bandit, how are you? You miss me, don't you? But seriously, man, they're going to play defense. Now, do I think they're going anywhere? No. But if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback, we'd be talking about probably the first place Jets and probably the best team in the National Football League.
Well, and what that defense has done, and even Robert Saleh talked about this in the press conference, how they have embarrassed quarterbacks. You know, Josh Allen has been normal. Patrick Mahomes has been normal. And, of course, you make Jalen Hurts, turn over the ball. All those quarterbacks have something in common. That Jets defense causes turnovers, and when they can do that, and that's exactly what
Peter, they have 10 defensive linemen on the roster, and they rotate all 10. By the time the third quarter whirls around, forget the fourth, they have completely wore out those offensive lines.
Sure.
And another thing they don't do, Pete, they don't blitz because they don't have to. And when they do blitz, oh shit.
Well, when they're getting there, it is ugly, and absolutely that's when you start to have those turnovers, even without your best corner in a Sauce Gardner. Adam, anything else here, birthday boy, on the evolution?
I got a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a question, Harry. Where do you right now rank Tampa Bay's defense? I put us in the top 5 in the NFL. Is that what you see us right now?
I got to be honest with you. No, I don't, and it's kind of surprising. I think the run defense is extraordinary. Okay, again, they only gave up 40 yards rushing. Okay, to a team that ran the ball. Peter, put that on the line on hold.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Stand by, caller. Let me go back out to Adam. We'll finish up with Adam. All right.
Listen,
all right.
The Buccaneers did give up a lot of yards passing, but they didn't play their best job on defense. They're still doing a really good job at running the ball. The only thing I don't like about what Tampa does, and Todd Bowles, I respect him immensely, especially for the defensive genius that he is, they blitz too much. And they don't need to. They have a front four that can create enough pressure to get to the quarterback. And when they blitz the way they do, they leave that middle of the field wide open, and Amon-Ra St. Brown can take advantage of it, and other really good tight ends can take advantage of it. They don't need to blitz the way they do. If they didn't blitz as much tape as I have watched, yes, I would give them a top 5 notch in the National Football League. Right now, I'd put them top 12. But
Okay.
It's still early in the season. There's a lot of season to go on. So once
Right.
they start to generate more wins and they develop more of a chemistry, believe it or not, with that momentum and more of a chemistry on that defense, that could get into the top 10, even the top 5. It
Yeah.
just
Right.
depends on what that momentum's going to do. The first thing they need to do is stop blitzing so much, and I don't think you're going to have as many passing yards.
Well,
I
think
hope
the
that
reason-
answers your question.
I think the reason why you blitz here, Harry and Adam, is because you're not getting enough pressure with the guys that you
But
have.
they do, Pete.
Well, they didn't yesterday, and they didn't cause any turnovers, and that was a big factor. And then on top of it, on third down, when a team is converting 9 for 15, and you have long third down situations, and as a Bucs fan, it is so frustrating to watch this when you got guys back there that you think are going to be able to get after it, like a Shaq Barrett, like a JTS, like a Vita Vea. Kalijah Cansey showed flashes yesterday. But when you don't get after that quarterback and you allow that quarterback to have 3 to 5 seconds all that time and basically throwing short down the middle over and over again, and you can't have anybody
Because of the
tackle,
blitzes, Pete. You just answered the question.
or you're playing a zone defense that's being exposed, or your safety is not on the right wavelength, if you will, or your linebacking crew. There's so many factors. It could be the blitz, it could be zone. The defense has to play better, and until they play better, in my opinion, they're not going to be a top 10 unit. They got to play better. They got to play together, and they also got to cause turnovers and get after the passer.
And
Adam,
I agree with that.
Use the second call, my friend. Thanks a lot for the call on the Evolution of
you
Sports
guys have
Talk
a great
Television.
night.
All right, let's go
Hey,
ahead.
Adam, thanks for calling in.
The phone lines here. What's your name? Where you're
I wanna
calling from?
finish.
Go ahead, finish really quick before we go out to the caller. Go ahead,
Listen,
Harry.
I don't want to talk about whose unit is bigger because we both study the game as much as we do.
Sure.
All I'm saying is if they were playing a true Tampa 2 and they didn't have to blitz as much, you were basically playing an old Los Angeles Rams type of defense where you bend, and don't break. Believe me, 80% of the teams in the National Football League can do that. I don't care how many yards you give up as long as you're not giving up the 6. You want to give up all the 3s? I'll trade 3s for 6s any day of the week, Pete. This defensive line, if they couldn't get to the quarterback, blitzing wasn't not the answer because you said it best. When they were sending the blitz, the middle of the field became open. If you are still playing with 2 high safeties and you are playing a zone, you are keeping everything in front of you. Eventually, that frustrates offenses, and it wants to make them push the ball downfield. Let's go back to the words of Lovie Smith, the great Lovie Smith when he was a defensive coordinator. What did he say? I'm not going to let you pick us apart. We're going to keep everything in front of us, and eventually you're going to get frustrated and you're going to give us the football. He had said it time and time again. Tampa fans, you know exactly what I'm talking about because that's exactly how you play an aggressive type of defense. You take the aggression away, and you make the offense make the mistake. If you can't put pressure on the quarterback, that doesn't mean you have to give up 800 yards of offense. That just means you got to keep everything in front of you and play good secondary. And you have to play good line. Your linebackers still have to sit in the middle of the field, and the safeties still have to cover. I don't want to hear about that. You leave blitzing too much will kill you. That's all I'm going to say about that.
That is their that is their identity, in my opinion. That's a Todd Bowles defense. How you can blitz. You're not getting to the quarterback on the blitz, then you're definitely going to pay. If you're playing zone, to me, it's safety and it's linebacker right now. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Sports Web.
Evening, gentlemen. It's KR from Tampa.
What's going on, KR?
What's up, KR?
I had to chime in because I was just listening to you, Greek, and you preached some interesting things that I actually thought about while watching this game yesterday.
Okay.
And just thinking about it, the Bucs defense, you kind of called it right. We blitz way too much on the ball. And what kills this team is that middle of the field. And we saw these guys like Josh Richardson and Cliff Robertson, I think was the running back, making big holes and popping our DBs right on the grill in the middle of the field.
Craig Reynolds, Craig Reynolds may have been, it must have been Burt Reynolds with the block that he threw on Carlton Davis, which Davis didn't see it, took out a couple other players there, and you ran by for a touchdown by Brown. And, that starts out as a middle play where somebody has to come up and make the tackle. And because Reynolds makes that block, there's nobody that's going to make the tackle. And it's not only the linebackers, but it's Ryan Neal. Ryan Neal was bad yesterday. Bad angles.
It happens, Pete.
But
it happens. And usually it's not, you know what?
playing some bad football
He
yesterday.
has not been good.
I have not looked at the tape, so it's not fair for me to make that assessment. Could it be that he was being too aggressive? Peter, listen, when you blitz and you get to the quarterback, everybody's jumping around and they're shaking like whores in churches because they can't believe, oh my God, we're just killing the opposing quarterback.
Right.
But when you're blitzing and you're not getting to the quarterback, and when you're blitzing, you're leaving half the field open.
Correct.
That's a problem. At some point, you have to say, let me back up and keep everything in front of me. And you know what? I'll trade 3s for 6s all day long. That's what the difference is. And here's another thing, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
When you're playing a team offensively like the Detroit Lions, especially as gifted as they are, and I keep bringing, I'm on Ross M. Brown. Okay, the guy's very difficult to cover. But
Sure.
if you're playing a zone and the corner is bumping him on the line of scrimmage and he's handing them off to a safety and he's sitting somewhere in the soft spot, hey, Neal could have been having a problem, Pete, because he was too over aggressive. Now I haven't watched this, and I don't know this to be for sure, but when you're over aggressive and he's going for a pick, and all of a sudden he's catching the ball and he's getting a whole bunch of yak, you're going, oh my God, he got burned. But what if he was just sitting back there a yard behind him? He caught the ball, he tackled. Because I promise you one thing, Pete, from the 20 to 20, that's a whole bunch of yards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you how short that field gets from inside the 20.
Oh, yeah.
That field gets a lot shorter. Those fields are not open like they were. And when you're not blitzing, when you're down by the goal line, let me tell you something. It's really hard to complete passes because the field's not as wide, and there's 20 plus players on a football field.
Yeah.
You don't have an entire field to run across and it looks wide open. That field gets very, very, very small. So people, please, I love a team just as much as anybody else that wants to be aggressive and blitz. But if you're not getting to the quarterback, you need to sit back and play zone and force the opposing quarterback to get frustrated because he's not getting those big chunks of yards.
But they did get some big plays yesterday on
because
Neal.
They were aggressive.
Right. 45 yards by Jameson Williams there, Mr. Gambler himself, and Neal's not able to turn around, not able to make a play because if he turns around, and I get it, he's in a new defense, he's out of Seattle, but he has not necessarily played well. Some fans calling for D. Delaney. It also comes down to coaching. It comes down to adjustments, and it comes down to, Todd Bowles, which we'll get out to in a moment. My concern is, how does a team come out sluggish after having that much time?
That was my main concern.
Go ahead, KR.
That was one of my big concerns, especially after having a whole week to prepare for this team and see what Detroit does on both sides of the ball. And Greek, I have to agree with you. I honestly think the Buccaneers need to reevaluate some of their scouting issues and start doing like some of these teams, mimic what they're doing, like bringing more linemen and more better, talent, especially at corner. If one of our corners go down, who we got to back them up?
Well, they're highly paid, and some of those guys got to step up.
KR's right.
Yeah,
KR's right. They
hasn't
need
had the best season at this point.
They need one more lineman, but you know what? This team is fast enough to get to the quarterback. They just so happened to run into some offensive schemes that knew exactly what the Buccaneers were going to do defensively, and they knew how to pick up that blitz. Had that been the week before, oh, wait a minute. Let's go to the week before. That when they played, they were tattooing on the quarterback. They were getting to the quarterback in any other game. They just couldn't get him to it. And Todd Bowles was like, well, shit, man, I can't get to him. Let me just keep sending more. Eventually, I'm going to get to him. And next thing you know, the game is out of control.
I agree with you. But what about Coach Canales? Like, I understand that he is a new coordinator to this game.
And he had a brain fart. That's exactly what it is. I'm going to attribute it to that.
I will go ahead and tell you this, KR, and not to interrupt you, but I am going to interrupt you. I completely agree. He is a young play caller. I don't quite understand why you got 3rd and 1, why you're not putting the ball in Baker's hands or trying to run the ball. I get it. You have difficulty. You're throwing it deep to Mike Evans. And, oh, by the way, Evans had a terrible game himself. He had a couple drops.
How many times have you seen that, Peter?
Well, I mean,
honestly, come on. Let's call it a reality. He dropped 60% of his targets. I want you to name another game that this guy's dropped 60% of his targets when the ball was throwing them 10 times.
If you want to be paid $24, $25 million, you want to be the top guy, which I've never denied he's not.
Then his next game, he's going to catch 150 yards, catch 8 balls out of 10 targets, and we're going to forget about the shit that happened in this game. That's why I'm talking about it. Look, I love the frustration and I love the passion from you, Peter, and the rest of the fans that are out there. They lost a friggin' game to the Detroit Lions, who's really hot this week. And this team has an entire season to get that momentum going.
But
They're going to clean up the blitzing and they will run the football.
I agree with you, and I'm optimistic about it.
And pay Mike Evans
out there. Well, you know what? Then earn your money and start playing like your $25 million wide receiver.
I agree. I have
and when
to
the
agree
team
on that one.
needs you to make critical plays, make those catches instead of having the stupid penalty there. Well, not on that play with 3rd and 1. You got to get some separation, and instead you try to run over the defender. And by the way, you pass a pass interference. There have been times this year where Evans has dropped the ball. And he'll even say he should have had it. He should have had
the ball every year, and he gets up gimping after every play.
To be a guy that is paid, I get what you're saying, what he's done for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a franchise, and I believe it will get done. But at times this year, he has not played like an elite wide receiver. Enough with, he needs to be all business. Be all business. Start making those plays, and those conversations will start to pick up again about re-signing him. Go ahead, KR.
Chris Godwin's playing like an all-pro to me because the way he was out there catching yesterday.
He's also 5 years younger.
Catches.
Well, he is 5 years younger, and that's maybe the reason why you're not paying the big-time money in the first place. But you're exactly right. Throw the ball to Chris Godwin. Is it all on the offense? No, it's also on the defense. But you feel bad for the defense because they did everything they could all day long. And when you can't sustain,
going 3 and out,
right?
3 and
you
out,
can't
3 and
sustain
out.
any drives. You got 6 points. This is on Canales. This is on Todd Bowles. This is on the coaching staff not making the adjustments. And again, I know it's easy to sit here and say, well, Detroit is an elite team. Okay. But if you want to be an elite team, like you said, Harry, you've got to clean some of this shit up.
Let me be really clear.
I curse for you too.
The Detroit Lions, I'm sorry to say, they're a really good football team. This is not an elite football team. Let me be very clear on that. You string together another 5 wins, and I will give them an elite status for this year.
They beat the defending Super Bowl champions in Kansas City.
Big deal. And the Jets almost took them down. And let me tell you something. Kansas City is also playing with half a football team on offense. So please, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors out there.
Well,
believe me when
I will tell you this right now. It's a week-by-week league, which the great TJ Reeves said last night at the Buccaneer Radio Network on the post-game show, brought to you by not only this show, but the JP Peterson show. He said it best, right? The 49ers are looking like, they're unbeatable. They're undefeated. They get a couple injuries. They lose to the freaking Browns. I get it. The Browns but they're playing PJ freaking Walker. They might as well play Jimmy Walker at that point. As a third-string quarterback, you're playing PJ Walker, and you're getting beat by the Browns. The Eagles, we called it here. We said that the Eagles were sluggish, but we didn't think the Jets and Zach Wilson were going to knock them off. They knock them off. So the NFL is a week-by-week league. So we're sitting here, we're saying, we don't know if the Lions are an elite team. Tell you right now, the record shows.
They're a good football team. Hold on. They're a really good football team. They're not elite.
I'll tell you right now, record shows they're 13-3 since last year. So they're playing elite football. They're believing in themselves. Yes, but it is a long season. They did punch the Bucs in the mouth, but with all that being said, with all the offensive ineptitude, Leo Ward, the Bucs were still in that game, and they still had some plays to make, and that is what separates them from being a great football team. And I think they can get there. I do. Maybe not a Super Bowl team, but you never know, my friend. All you got to do is get in. You get in. That's it. Have the mo, like my co-host would say here, Harry the Greek. KR, anything else here on the evolution?
Yes, real quick. I know that my time is short, but we got Atlanta on Sunday, and then we turn around and play Buffalo in Buffalo on Thursday Night Football. Yeah. We have to be able to play our A game against Atlanta first, because if we don't, Buffalo's going to come for a nice little victory against us in Buffalo.
Yeah, well, you would think.
I'd love to I want everybody to get out there and get their razor blades ready so you can start slicing your wrist. Because what I'm getting ready to tell you is going to make you want to commit Harry Carey. Okay, you ready? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 2.5-point favorites in this game at home against this crappy team that people are calling the Atlanta Falcons. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means? They would be an underdog at Atlanta. Let me repeat that. They would be an underdog in Atlanta. So let me hurry up and give you guys a play for this week. I haven't even gone through the injury situation. Before this game becomes -4 or -5, make sure you get to your betting window and go ahead and play Tampa Bay -2.5, because that is a gift from the gambling gods.
All right, so I'm playing it, KR, and your time is
thing.
yes. Go
Baker
ahead.
Hurt? I was trying to see on his press conference last night. Was he hurt?
You got a helmet to the hand. We haven't seen anything about the injury report. He says he's fine. We'll keep you abreast of the situation if anything changes. But right now, it just seems like a quarterback that's frustrated more than hurt. And I know there's people out there. Put in Trask. It's Trask time.
Not this again.
You guys.
Listen, I'm a Trask supporter. I'm saying to pump your brakes. And Peter and KR.
That's your problem.
I know he doesn't have the amount of receptions he's had in past years, but he's got 24 completions for just under 400 yards. He's still on pace for 1,000 yards.
Yes.
And he's averaging he's averaging about 16 yards per reception. So can we please, I'm begging you, ladies and gentlemen, let's just stop about, oh my God, Butterfingers Evans.
Well,
the guy can't catch anymore. He is the best
receiver. He needs to start showing it, because he needs to.
What do you mean start showing it, KR? The guy has shown it for years, and he's given this team he's given this team his sweat and his balls for the last how many years?
I'm sorry to be cold here. I'm sorry to be cold here, but this goes back to the 80s here, kids. Google it if you like. What have you done for me lately?
That's the National Football League, but you know what? Stop.
It's not for long. Not for long. If you're dropping passes, you want to be paid like Cooper Kupp.
True.
You better show.
That's 1 week this year, Pete. Against New Orleans, he was 100%, Pete.
You're not paying somebody on their past accomplishments. You're paying them on right now what they're doing. So
perfect example, Jerry Jeudy. Look at Jerry Jeudy of the Broncos.
Terrible. He's not
been
good.
Trash in social
by
media.
Stevie Smith. Yes.
Yes, and Steve Smith even tried to tell him, like, you need to be better, because he's just a guy.
That's it. He's just a guy. And I don't think Mike Evans is just a guy, but there have been times this year where you need critical catches and critical plays to be made, and he has not made them. And you could sit there and say that's been his whole career. I don't care. If this guy wants a contract extension,
that's what we need.
If he wants a contract extension, come to play ball.
Peter.
That's it.
I'm going to say this without screaming.
So, say it.
Okay. He looked the same way when he was playing with Tom Brady when Tom Brady came into the league. It is year one for Baker Mayfield in this offense. It is going to take about 7 or 8 games for this team to start rolling. Again, just like the pundits that were out there going, they're only going to win 3 bulk games this year.
I
They
agree.
look like Forrest Gump going, hi, I'm Forrest Gump. They're a bunch of morons. Okay, I mean, give me a break, man. I mean, every team has to have some, cohesion. I mean, take a look at what happened, okay, with no tape on Tyrod Taylor for the New York Giants. Oh, by the way, another game I got correct, especially in the first half. In the first half, I said, everybody, please take the Giants in the first half. There's way too many points. Not only did they cover, they were winning at halftime. And the reason for it is it's because of Tyrod Taylor. But let Tyrod play next week, you won't see the same results.
Probably won't.
Okay?
Because
you won't see the same results. This is going to take a little bit of time, man.
It's a week by week league.
Yeah, I understand.
Listen, here's the thing that people in KR, stay on the phone here with this.
Okay.
If you sign a Mike Evans to a big time contract, who are you willing to lose? Are you willing to lose a Tristan Wirfs? Are you willing to lose an Antoine Winfield Jr.? Are you willing to lose possibly a Devin White? Are you possibly looking to lose a Chris Godwin? And I get it. It's easy to sit here and say, well, the Bucs have taken care of their own before. They've handled the salary cap situations. Very true, but you know that you're going to have to sign these players eventually. So who are you willing to sacrifice out of that? Tristan Wirfs, Antoine Winfield Jr.?
I honestly could lose Mike and be honest. Look at the draft that's coming up, all these receivers you got from Marvin Harrison Jr. and others.
Well, you're not going to get Marvin Harrison Jr., but you may get...
Son, he's going to the Bears. Don't worry about that.
Maybe. And you could get a guy like a Coleman from Florida State. You could get the same type of wide receiver who also has his fair
Yeah.
share of dropsies there with Johnny Wilson, who's 6'7". I mean, you
know
can
what?
find
I
a
was
wide
just thinking
receiver.
about that
Yep.
too. Johnny Wilson was
Yep.
the perfect Mike Evans comparison.
But I'm not ready to let go of Mike Evans, but I also trust
Yeah.
this Buccaneer organization, and I sit here and say, well, what's the reason for them doing it? How long is the contract that he wants? I'm not going to get emotional about this, and I'm definitely not going to go on a diatribe and say, the Glazers are terrible owners. They don't care about the fan base, because that's complete and total freaking bullshit. Hold on. That's total bullshit because of what the Glazers have done throughout the years, going for it, trying to win Super Bowls. Enough of that nonsense. I'm tired of hearing it from freaking fans saying the Glazers don't. You can't sign everybody, okay? I wish you could. I mean, I guess you can if you're the Saints. You can be cap held for like 10 years and it doesn't really matter. But you really can't sign everybody. So everybody get off the Glazers' ass here. They've been good owners for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Enough. They will take care of it. I have faith in Jason Light and Mike Greenberg. Now, KR, you can go ahead.
I have to say
he's going to look really good in the giant uniform next year.
Shut up and be quiet.
Just telling you, he's going to be.
Buccaneers coach. I think he may need to delegate being a play caller. I think he might need to get one of these other coaches call defense, because I think emotionally this team, they'd have those moments. And look at Mike Evans. As soon as he dropped the ball, the team just like went flat. And I'm like, why did we be a flat team, in these key moments?
Yeah, I don't know, and that's my concern at this point. The lack of adjustments. How do you not have your team
we
ready?
We got outcoached by Dan Campbell.
Well,
and
there
I
you
said
go.
It last
I
week.
mean,
He was a meathead mentality.
That's it.
He punched us in the face.
That's it.
You know what? Dan Campbell eventually is going to get punched in the face. That little comment's kind of resonating in my ear. You don't have to look far for us. We're going to be on your front porch. I love those kind of things, but some of that arrogance, it's going to come back and stick him in the ass. Who does he think he is? Buddy Ryan?
He's going to lose.
Not even close. He couldn't hold Buddy Ryan's jock strap.
I think his OC's going to get a job because he's very interesting. Ben Johnson, he's very talented.
Sure.
I was impressed.
Sure. Good call, KR. Appreciate it. Use
Thanks, KR, man. Have a great day.
I love calls like that. KR, I still owe you wings, so don't give up on me. I just haven't had a chance to.
And besides, hold on. How about Baker Mayfield?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I don't know. I have to go back and look at the tape to see if he was open. I don't know if I threw the wrong ball. Oh, maybe it was Mike Evans' fault. The guy took accountability and said, I sucked.
Yeah, he did.
I got to do a better job.
And he said the whole offense sucked. The whole offense sucked. And he even said they need to get more pissed off, and they need to get more pissed off. It should not take this team till the second or the third quarter to get started. They need to come out and punch somebody in the mouth. If they want to be a physically opposing team that's going to run the ball, be committed to the running game. That falls on the offensive line. You got to open up more holes. You got to do it.
That's twice this year that I've watched them with an unbalanced offense, and they've lost both times. That, my friend, is more concerning about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers than it is with the play of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And ladies and gentlemen, that falls on the coaching staff.
I agree.
With Dave Canales, who, by the way, cut him some slack. He's a rookie OC.
Besides that, are you concerned about the offensive line and their inability, because they're good pass protectors? They've given up not a lot of sacks this year. There wasn't a lot of pressure in this game. Hutchinson was he was nearly silent.
They didn't blitz that much, Pete.
Well, but they didn't get to him. Even if they didn't blitz, they still didn't get to him. The offensive line did a good job. The concerning thing is there's not enough running lanes there, and you got Rashad White.
True,
you've got Keyshawn Vaughn. You're not getting enough running yards when you're running the ball. You're not getting it
because you're not committed to the run. Peter, I'm going to tell you right now, and again, running the football and pass protection, two totally different things. I promise you, in the National Football League, it is much easier to run block than it is to pass protect because you don't know where the protection has to come from. Yeah. With running, you are now becoming offensive. You are dictating your will on the defense and what you're going to do. And when you don't run it continuously, you're not going to be able to get that momentum. Look what poor Brian Daboll's going through over in New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, missing offensive lineman. That's what it comes down to.
And I talked about this. I was not a Daboll supporter when he went there because the man refuses to run more than a 5-man protection.
Sure.
And it's a shame, that was his problem with the Buffalo Bills, to be honest with you.
Yep.
In Tampa, they run a lot of 11-man personnel, but they're not continuous. They run 11-man personnel. I can't tell you the last time they dropped back, ready, and went fake the handoff and then play action. They know they're running the football. Sorry, man. You got to be a little bit more disguised than that. And I strictly blame the coaching staff, not the players. On
Okay.
this one.
Well, all right. That's a concern. What's your biggest concern, Bucs fan? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. This is, by the way, Zach Mitchell here on I Love St. Pete. I think you just saw a sleepy team coming off a bye week. I think they will bounce back next week. KR, are the Bucs going to trade for a running back? That has been mentioned. I just don't think it's going to happen unless there's an injury. They don't have the cap. How much are you giving up? Derrick Henry's out there. Derrick Henry being out there with the Titans and their possible slide with them being out of it right now. Are you trading for a Derrick Henry, or does he have too many miles on those tires if you're the Bucs?
Look, let me tell you something. I just watched a 500-pound running back break loose for a 60-yard run, got caught from behind. But let me tell you something. He had some wheels. In all honesty, I think he has too many miles in the tires, and I just don't think he's going to be able to stay healthy.
Okay.
So with that being said, unpopular opinion, I'd say no. I would not trade for
I think you got to go with White. I think you got to go with Keyshawn Vaughn. And right now, Vaughn is beating out Sean Tucker in practice. That's exactly what Bowles was talking about in his presser today. Only true running back we had was Doug Martin. Oh, God. Trade old man Butterfingers, Mike Evans. He's costing us many games. Ridiculous.
Butterfingers.
Ridiculous
This
comment.
guy sucks.
Our O-line is not making holes for White, so to see, because he didn't stop running, and they tried to use Vaughn too. And also, it's the vision of the running back where there is something he's not seeing it. Instead, he's running right into the hole instead of trying to cut back. You saw Vaughn have
rushes.
I get it, but those 16 rushes, you got to make them count. You got to also make
no, sir. 16.
Miss.
You mean to tell me your greatest running teams that run the ball 16 times, they all count? They don't, Pete.
Some of them.
You want to know what the truth is, Pete? Usually, the average is less than 50%.
Of running the ball in the league?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. There is. But if this team wants to be a running team, you've got to still accomplish more than what 2.9.
But the more you do run, forces safeties and linebackers closest to the line of scrimmage, which then does what, Pete?
It opens coverage on the outside. Yes. I'll tell you what. Stand by. Let's go out to Ed. Ed from Palm Harbor.
Hey.
Welcome to the Sports Web. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek.
Go. I don't hate the Bucs, Ed.
He does not. Go ahead, Ed.
I know you don't hate the Bucs, bro.
How you doing, Ed?
What's going on, buddy?
I was just very upset because there really wasn't a lot of good play calling in that game. In fact, they decided to run the ball right up the teeth, right into the center of that line's defense, and that is their strength. They didn't try to go outside. They didn't try to do anything that was going to give them any kind of production.
He's right. I mean, that's a third-ranked defense against the run, and especially up the middle there with, the Bucs and their inability with the interior line. You have a rookie on the right side. You have Hands who hasn't necessarily played well. Filer is okay. I mean, that is the big-time question. Just imagine if you have Ryan Jensen, and you don't. You don't have Ryan Jensen. So you're taking a step back, and that interior line has been a big-time question mark.
Good point. I don't know what the run protection was. I don't know what the run scheme was. I don't know what the calls were. I don't know if he ran a wrong route. But I can give you a more concise answer live here on Wednesday after watching the coach's tape on this. But I can't give an opinion on that. But if it is exactly what you're saying it is, and they didn't have the right protection to run up the middle, then that's, again, what does that lie on, Pete? Coaching.
Yeah, it's coaching. It's coaching. And I think that's probably my biggest concern coming into it. I know we're early, and I still think the Bucs are going to be good, but it's the lack of adjustments. We saw Todd Bowles this year make those adjustments. He didn't do it in this game. And also to have your team ready and prepared. Why do you have a coach saying, my team was sluggish multiple times yesterday, and we're going to get out to those Todd Bowles comments?
Who's responsible to keep the team motivated, Pete?
Mr. Todd Bowles and that coaching staff. Agree.
There you go.
Agree. All right, Ed, what else?
What is the deal with Mike Evans and the drops, man?
Well, he's always had those type of drops. He's had them. And now you're focused on it more like I am, like a lot of fans are, because he wants to get paid a big-time contract. But he's had that throughout his career. I think there have been more this year, in my opinion, than there have been in previous years. But like Harry's saying, it is a fair point. You have to develop chemistry with Baker Mayfield. I will say this once again. If you want to be paid like one of the top wide receivers in the league, you got to start doing your job and catching the ball at critical times. That's
The
what you
ball
gotta
comes in differently. I mean, the ball's got a different zip to it. The revolutions could be a little bit slower. The ball could be twisting at the very end. There's so many variables, Ed, and he's probably not really used to playing with Baker yet. I think you'll notice a difference. These are the most drops that I've seen in one game from Mike Evans ever.
Yeah, he's had some drops throughout his career.
Because in his previous week, he didn't drop a single pass, Ed.
No.
I know it was strange. It's strange, very strange that he had such a bad game.
Well, the whole offense had a bad game. It's not just on Mike Evans. It's on everybody. It's on Baker Mayfield. You can't sustain drives. And when you have plays, you got to hit. You got to hit them. I get it. Quarterbacks miss throws.
I'm sending an invite out to somebody.
Oh God, I know who you're sending it to.
He missed the same throw 3 times to Troy Palmer.
Yep, you missed one before halftime and one in the fourth quarter, and you're absolutely right. You missed those, and you can't afford to miss those because they changed the game. What else, Ed?
That's pretty much it, guys. Great show. Have a great night. And I know.
Thanks, Ed.
Peter.
I got you.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Appreciate it.
Hey, Ed, I hate the Bucs.
Will you shut up and be quiet? Call back. Use that second call if you want to. Phone line 727-255.
My buddy Ed.
You shut up. 0391. It is your buddy Ed. All right. Baker was riding too high from watching the Red River shootout there. I'm not going to call it what it is during the bye week. It's a shootout. Lions are a good team, but we didn't see the Bucs' best effort in that game. Give me the Bucs again if they bring their A game. And I think that Zach Mitchell agrees with you. Harry the Greek, I agree, but they got to clean up on some of those things. Mom, right there, Sandra Nagel. It's all in the family there, watching the best sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area, the Sports Web with Amped Up Sports. I love St. Pete. My mama from Kentucky and Berea. I have many family members lived in Lexington, and they've been there many times. Bucs need good receivers when the quarterback is hurt. Bring in another backup. She's saying it's Trask time. I'm telling her Baker's not hurt. He had a bad game. Let's not lose our minds here, Mom, but I appreciate the support as always. I noticed that right away. Too much blue in the stands. Thought I was watching the Bolts game. Am I keeping you past your bedtime there, Zach Mitchell, with that great comment?
I'm traveling, buddy.
I know you are. That's every game where our stadium is the majority of the opponent. It is sad to see it. It is sad to see it because I think the Bucs have done enough in the last 5 years. And again, you're dealing with transplant. But you look at the lower bowl, and I get it, the economical structure of, everything right now is tough. We're trying to pay rent. We're trying to pump gas. And there's season tickets holders out there who want no part of this, and they want to sell the tickets. You sold them to Lions fans, and basically the Lions fans dominated that stadium yesterday. It's disappointing. It is. I understand it, but then again, I don't understand it. Sell it to a damn Bucs fan. Not a Lions fan. But again, I'm up in the press box. What do I know? I got there for free yesterday. Would I go if I had the money? Absolutely. I get it. Times are tough, but it's just a little bit maddening, right? We're talking to a Bears fan right now. Could you ever see another fan base taking over your stadium? Harry the Great.
Not even if they didn't win a football game for the entire season.
Right.
I've never seen it happen. Even with the rivalry that's less than 100 miles away from each other from Green Bay to Chicago, I mean, you're going to see a little bit of green in the stadium, but we want them there. So, because it's a lot of trash talking. And plus, they have a better tailgate.
Well, and you don't want, of course, cheese brats and everything else. All right.
Cheese curds and cheese brats.
Yes. Sounds good, man. Lots of cheese. Love it. Lots of saturation there. Getting fat just thinking about it right now. So let's not do that. Let's go out to Eric. Eric, welcome to the Sports Web. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek. Go.
What's up, you guys?
What's your biggest concern with this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team?
The OC.
The offensive coordinator. So Dave Canales, you're not liking the play calling at this point?
No.
Why?
I don't know why. We should be throwing them on the damn ball. I don't know why.
What? You want to throw the ball more, you said?
Yeah, we are a throwing team.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if you're a throwing team. Well, how many yards does he have yesterday? You're not a throwing team if you're missing passes. If your quarterback is saying he sucked.
Hold on. What I'm trying to say, we had open passes. Baker overthrew the ball.
Right, but that's not on the offensive coordinator. He made the
Well,
right.
we've established that Baker Mayfield sucks. Mike Evans needs to be put out the pasture. He should walk the plank.
According to last night, Baker was injured. He was hurt.
Well, I'm not ready to say he was hurt, and that's the reason why.
Devastated. Needs season-ending surgery now.
You shut up and be quiet, Harry.
Season's over.
Kyle Trask might be in this week.
No, I don't think Kyle Trask
yeah.
is in this week unless Baker is really, really hurt. I don't think it's going to happen, Eric. No.
I think Kyle Trask is coming in, and Mitchell Trubisky is going to finish the game.
What is? If that was if that was Kyle Trask yesterday, he's 6'5".
Sorry, Pete.
Would he have made it over? Would he would have made it past Mike
No,
Evans?
no, I don't think so. I don't think a guy that has 9 snaps in the National Football League is going to play better than somebody that's more
Oh,
experienced.
yeah.
He's 6'5", though, the height difference. We're talking about the height.
You got it, man. I
that,
think he might even be 6'6".
You're an idiot, Harry. You're really an idiot. Again,
Well,
let me ask you something, Eric. What were you saying, Eric? What were you saying 2 weeks ago when Baker was leading the Bucs to a win against New Orleans?
He said they should have passed the ball more, and Kyle should have been in because he's 6'6".
This guy sucks.
I'm about tired of you, Harry. All right,
we
Eric.
have some news, though. We have Leonard Fournette heading to Buffalo next week. We're going to play against an old former player, then a playoff Lenny.
No, there you go. Leonard Fournette getting picked up by the Buffalo Bills. So there you go. We'll see what playoff Lenny does. As he looked injured last year and looked like he was running with a piano on his
I have a question for Eric.
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, Eric, do you think Mike Evans needs to train a little bit more or get longer arms?
I don't know.
Don't answer it, Eric. Good call. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Fantastic. Thanks for the call.
I'm not finished.
All right, go ahead.
Let him
Eric.
finish, Pete.
Go,
Damn.
man. Go. 20 minutes. Go, buddy. Go.
Man.
Go.
man, do you think Barkley will be the answer for the Bucs?
Oh, yeah. Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley. I don't know if the Giants are going to look to trade him at this.
Oh, no, and I hear Walter Payton might be coming back from the dead.
Will you shut up and be quiet, Harry?
Shut up! How about Josh Jacobs? Josh Jacobs could be available.
Well, a lot of these running backs, you're going to have to trade at least, a premium pick, either a first or second round pick. I don't know if the Bucs are willing to do that.
I don't think so. Maybe a third and the fourth.
Maybe.
What do you think of Caleb Williams? Do you think they got a chance of getting him next year?
If we keep losing, we have a chance.
Well,
all right, good. I just wanted to make sure.
All right, Eric, thanks a lot for the call, man.
I know that was a dumb question.
No, it's not a dumb question. No questions
No,
here.
man.
Sports Web. All right.
But look at this. But we can go get Sanders. He'll be available for us.
Who?
What's Sanders?
Sanders, a quarterback from
Colorado. That's the answer. Say whatever it's oh yeah.
Guys, they're not going to be that bad. They're going to turn this around.
Oh no, they only need the 5th pick for that. They're done.
Shut up.
If we lose to the Falcons, it's time to hit the panic button.
No, it's not.
It is time to hit the panic button. They're only 2.5-point favorites. That means if they were in Atlanta right now, Eric, let me help you with math here. It's usually 3 points. It would be Atlanta would be favored by 0.5 point. I like Eric. Leave him on.
I mean to make a trade though. If we lose Sunday, do we make?
Who would you trade from Atlanta to Tampa?
Who are you trying to trade right now for? Who are you trying?
Bijan Robinson. Would you give him Mike Evans for Bijan Robinson?
What I'm saying, if we lose this week, do we make a trade?
No, I don't think they push the panic button. I don't think you're going to lose this week. But even if you do lose this week, you're not pushing the panic button. No.
And nobody's job, no players. Would Baker Mayfield would job opportunity would be on jeopardy?
Do you think Baker Mayfield, if he was Kyle Trask's height, do you think he'd be a better quarterback, Eric?
Are you asking? I don't know. We see what Bryce Young could do at 5'9". He can't do nothing.
All right. Well, there you go. So there's never been any quarterbacks that have been under 6 foot or never done anything in the National Football League. Drew Brees.
Oh, crap. Doug Flutie.
Doug Flutie. Yeah, Russell Wilson, Drew Brees. I mean, come on, Eric. I know that you want Traskin. Everybody wants to push the panic button at this point. It's not time to push the panic button here, guys.
I bet you was upset. I bet you wanted to cry after the game. I bet you was probably.
Who, me?
Yeah, I seen him.
Oh, yeah. I was definitely crying in my beer last night. I don't even
Emotional.
drink. No, I was not crying at all because they're 3-2. It could be much worse than what it is at this point. No. There's no crying in football, buddy. No crying in football.
But I know. But do you think we had a chance of winning that game?
Yes, you had opportunities to win that game. That's the thing. Even against a great team like the Lions, you had an opportunity to win. Yes.
We're not doing no halfback screens like the Lions do.
It hasn't worked. They haven't done it. They did a lot last year. They haven't done it this year.
Eric, on the parting note for you, buddy, before we have to hang up on you, I wanted to ask you a question.
If he's from the pink terracotta tree, why has he been there all those years? He should be able to run the McVay offense.
Yeah.
I mean, they're running the McVay offense, and they should be doing more screens, but they're not. They're not. Well,
they had
yes. Yes.
Do you know what almost counts?
Rockets
means
have the exact same kind of weapons.
I agree with you. They do have lots of weapons on this team. And again, that offense has to play a lot better than what they did yesterday. You're not going to beat anybody by scoring 6 points. And that's what it comes down to. And to answer
how can you beat maybe the Panthers or
right? You're not going to even beat the Panthers. They scored 14 versus the Dolphins and then proceeded to give up 35. Eric, thanks a lot for the call. It's been enjoyable as always.
I had one more question for him.
Oh, you shut up and be quiet.
This guy sucks.
Oh, all right.
I mean, he said they almost only counts in horseshoes
and hand grenades
and shit fights.
And right now, consequently, I want to take a grenade and put it down my throat to blow
That must be Eric calling back again.
No, it's not. It's Roger. Roger, welcome back to the Evolution. What do you have to say?
Shut
up.
I just wanted to say, Harry, it's
yes, sir.
Great to see you. Great to hear your voice.
Thank you, sir.
I agree with you 100%. You are right, as always, my friend.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Any more kissing?
That was a great call.
Peter, what are your picks?
Okay, here's my
pick. That was a great call.
Ready? Here's my pick. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391.
Dare you?
You be quiet as I'm speaking. How about that?
Forget that I can do this, huh?
We're having a hell of a show tonight, guys.
Yes, we are, guys.
I noticed that right away, but too much blue in the stands. All right, Jay Etheridge. Okay, we read that. Ed says, try running the ball on the teeth. They're going to look at that. Bring your passion. Absolutely. Appreciate you.
We don't have any here.
Oh, no. We're just sitting back here in the library, just giving you stats. Bears, best 1-5 team in the NFL. Rouse says 49ers beat themselves and the officials. Okay, let's go out to Curtis here. Curtis, welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek. We shut up, Harry, and be quiet. Go, Curtis.
Yeah, shut up, Harry, and be quiet. We love you.
What's up, Curtis? How you doing, bro?
Oh, man, I just got off work.
Yeah?
My feet hurt.
That's good. Well, that's not good, I guess. So you got off work, but your feet hurt. That's not good. You need to get a
Curtis, I'm going to have a Blanton for you right here. It's Blanton, not Blunt.
Yes.
Blanton. You know what Blanton's is?
Right on the show right now. Yes.
I'm sorry, Harry.
I'm not drunk, sir.
Well, he needs to get drunk in order to watch the Bears at this point. I mean, that's going to be the Bears' new logo there. Get drunk in 2023 while watching Justin Fields in that offense. Go ahead. Sorry.
Drunk is not the right word. It's heavily intoxicated.
What did you think of the game yesterday? It sounds like you're in a tunnel. What's going on?
He loved it.
Well, I will tell you this. It definitely looked like fucking Buccaneers yesterday.
Well, it did. You know, the creamsicle, that was one of the other big concerns there. Should the Bucs do away with the creamsicle uniforms being 1-4 or playing in those uniforms?
That was the problem.
I mean, they got fans saying it. You know, they're superstitious.
No, it was the uniforms, ladies and gentlemen. And furthermore, it had nothing to do with the coaching. It had nothing to do with the fact that they ran the ball 16 times and passed it 37.
Right.
Well,
It's the
here's
uniforms.
here's the other thing. They beat. I don't take anything away from the Lions. They had a good win, but the Bucs were beating themselves.
They were. They were
Yep.
missing plays. Yep.
And Mike Evans' fault all day long. Dropped 6 passes. He sucks. He's done.
You know what? I could beat Mike Evans up for that, but how many times did that defense allow third and one?
Agree. Agree. It's a total team effort, and I feel bad for the defense because they were on the field for so long. But if you want to be a top defensive unit out there, you've got to stop teams on third down. And even they would say, but to be fair, when your defense is on the field for the majority of the game because your offense is not able to establish anything, that's going to wear them out also. So it works hand in hand, you know.
But also, hold on now. The defense, that's the defense's fault too, because they're not playing. They're not getting off the field.
Correct.
Because how many drives did they complete multiple third downs?
Yep. 9 for 15 on third down conversions. It was just, it was not good to watch yesterday. Not good. Not at all.
Jared Goff looked like Tom Brady.
He did. You look like Joe Montana back there. Instead of Joe Montana, you look like Joe Montana because you give a quarterback 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball anywhere he wants to, as Leo would say on Wednesday night. He's going to pick you apart.
That's what I said in the second half. What happened to the pressure? Where is he?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to what Harry was talking about also. You know, you're either blitzing, you're not getting there, or you're not getting there overall.
On a serious note, because I've been busting balls here for about a half an hour.
Yeah, you have been.
On a serious note. Look,
Yes.
man, they gave up only 40 yards on the ground. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensively set out to stop the running game, and they did. They played very well. If they would have blitzed less in this game, they wouldn't have gave up as many passing yards, which was 386, because they kept leaving the middle of the field wide open.
Yeah.
Because they were being so over aggressive. This is a coaching issue, guys. And I don't know if it starts with Todd Bowles or if it was a Canales. I think it was a combination of both.
Yeah.
Let's just be really upfront and honest here. I did not like that offensive game plan. I did not like the game plan offensively.
I didn't either.
Balance.
Well, there was none, and that's his point. That's been his point all night long, and you're exactly right. When this team is balanced, we saw how different they can be because they can be so dangerous. You can use the pass play action. You can go down the field. You can hit Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Trey Palmer. And they had those opportunities yesterday. They just didn't take them, but you're exactly right. The balance on this team is important, and it starts up front with the run game, and it's not getting it done right now. Whether they're committed to it, whether they're successful, you got to be committed to the running game. You have to be committed to it, and they weren't yesterday.
I want to say this. The season is still – we're still leading the division, unfortunately.
Yep.
Well,
Fortunately.
And I mean, either they're going to get their shit together, excuse my French.
That's all right.
That sounded like English.
We're speaking lots of French tonight. That's okay.
Zipoo.
We're giving language lessons here on the Sports Web. That's what we do.
Even you, Pete.
Yes, even me. Yes.
We got to speak French to be close to the Greek.
Well, that's it. There you go. Exactly. Mr. Superstar here, Mr. FanDuel himself on the Evolution.
Say it again.
We are so honored that he would grace us with his presence, Harry the Greek Berg of FanDuel. Thank you, Harry.
Did you know? Hey, just listen. The lady that interviewed me.
Yes.
You just need to look at that again. She was last year's Miss Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I could
good,
barely even talk.
You did good. You played it off well.
She was so beautiful, that woman.
Well, yes, she was. All right, Curtis, what else here on the Evolution?
The last thing I'm going to say is, I'm a Bucs fan forever, but it's actually I feel good for the Wild.
Okay.
They had a lot of tough years.
Very true.
A lot of tough years.
Yep.
And you know what? As a team that has had tough years, every once in a while, it's good to be on top. So.
All right, man. Makes lots of sense. Give me a call back. Use that second call. Appreciate the time as always, Curtis. Thanks a lot there. Give me the mantra, man.
Yeah.
Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake. giving you something to think about. Give me some final thoughts here as I will read the comments. I'll cut you loose. A long weekend for you, a glorious weekend for you, Mr. FanDuel. Give me some final thoughts here about Week 6 in the National Football League.
You know what? Final thoughts in the Week 6 of the National Football League. Yours truly went 8-3 last week.
Wow.
And out of those 8 wins, you ready for this? 3 of them. I gave out actually 5 money line picks, and they were all underdogs. 3 of them, they won. 3 of them. And the biggest one was actually the New York Jets, who was getting 7.5 points. You put them on the money line. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you've been listening to the picks, but if you have, you've been making some serious cash. I'm telling you now, if you guys last week or the week before, you're going to love this week coming up. And it starts with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers only being a 2.5-point favorite. Don't forget to tune in this Wednesday live on the Sports Web. I will be talking with Peter Blake. We're going to give out a couple of picks, and then you can catch us here on Sunday for the over-under with my co-host Peter Blake, and possibly, you never know, Tampa Bay Ray, he might hang out, or he might be hanging out with Aaron Rodgers somewhere, sitting on the beach, some dark quiet time. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, the dark room, with Aaron Rodgers possibly coming back as he was seen throwing the ball yesterday. I mean, what do you make of this situation? Because there's talk he may be able to make it back by January. How much of would you want that? And I know that's crazy to say, but
yeah, I would. I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan, but I got to respect what he's done for the league. If he's ready to play, the guy comes in and plays. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if the New York Jets make it to the playoffs this year, it's going to be because of 2 things. Primarily that defense, and you ready? Zach Wilson.
Right. Well, that's my point, though. If Zach Wilson leads you there,
Zach Wilson leads you there. Aaron Rodgers gets you there.
Okay.
And depending on who they're playing. But you don't play him in the playoffs. He's got to have a game under his belt to get the cobwebs off.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. Thanks a lot for your time here on the Sports Web.
Peter, have a really good evening. Thanks a lot, and I appreciate it. It's always great. To everybody that left some pretty positive comments, thank you very much. And for the people that were assholes out there, I'm only kidding you. We love you, everybody. Take care of yourself.
There you go. See, there it is, right there. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of the Sports Web. Let's go back out to the comments, and then we'll get out to Todd Bowles and his presser yesterday. He also had a presser today. Didn't get it today. We'll get that. We'll play that on Wednesday night, or play another one here. Let's see here. Play calling sucked. And again, the question is out there for Bucs fans. What is your biggest concern with this Bucs team right now? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. To get in on the phone lines, give me your biggest concern. Give me your thoughts overall of the loss yesterday, 20-6 versus the Lions at Raymond James Stadium on Throwback Creamsicle. Is your concern the uniform situation? Is your concern coaching? Is your concern fans showing up? What is your biggest concern with this team right now? Lewis says, can you both explain why the position of fullback for some reason has disappeared from the NFL? The last time I saw one was Lorenzo Neal. If you watch the San Francisco 49ers, you have a fullback there. I can't really tell you. I don't understand why the fullback position has disappeared either. You know what? I'm going to ask Leo Haggerty on Wednesday why that position has disappeared. Hell, I thought blitzing would have helped, but man. Jem says, okay, the Greek has sold me on easing off the blitz. That's what we do here. Remember when Peter believed Byron Sandwich was a good coach? Laugh my ass off. And also, Troy, you remember when Jacksonville nearly hired him as a head coach? Guess they were stupid too, huh? Andrew Fulbert says, thank you. Christopher Cole Evans always looks pissy. Facebook user, I believe this is Zach again. Like Baker said, they all sucked. They were not prepared to play. The bye week beat the Bucs, not the Lions. Facebook user again, I believe this is Zach. Later in the season, and now not off a bye week, Bucs can beat the Lions. Anthony Richardson, Toilet Bowl next Sunday, Bucs versus the Falcons. Did Peter say abreast? Pervert. I did say not abreast of the situation. Jackass. I even wanted Trask at the beginning of the season. It would be stupid to put him in now if Baker isn't injured. Agree. Good stuff. Big board. Yeah. Bucs fans need to relax. Agree with you on that. 2 giant goop balls. Technically, you paid them in the offseason, so you pay them for what they have done. But again, if you're up for a contract extension, it is about what you're doing this year, not what you have done in the past. That's what the Bucs are looking at. Jim says, is it possible to sign Evans to a 2-year pact, or is it unrealistic for Evans' standpoint? I don't know. That's a great question, Jim. It's a very great thought out question, because we don't know what Evans wants, how much he wants. The rumors are out there, but I could tell you that when people have thought that Levante David is going to move on, guess what? He got signed by the Bucs. When people thought that Jamel Dean was going to move on, he got signed by the Bucs. So let's see what they're going to do. Let's have trust in this organization that they will get the deal done. And if it's a 2-year deal, at a certain amount, I think that's a fair deal, don't you? Even a 3-year deal to a certain degree. It just depends on how much money he wants up front, how much a year it's going to be, and what does it do to your salary cap. And again, I get it. I've been out there. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The NFL salary cap is increased every year and will look to increase next year. So you kind of know what you're working with, or don't know what you're working with at this point. So again, I think, the whole money aspect, it's going to come down. I think the Bucs want to see what his value is. They may want him to go out into the market and test it, and he may not necessarily be worth what he thinks he's worth to other teams. And then the Bucs get him back, just like they did to Levante David and Jamel Dean. Good question, Jim. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Yeah. Appreciate you. Yes, you will, because we play the Commanders. Anthony Richardson says, read the comments, bro. Oh, by the way, YouTube chats are out there if you want me to read your comment. And also Facebook stars. If you like the comment, if you appreciate the content that's on the show, Facebook stars, YouTube chats. What's going on, Fred? Congratulations to you, my friend. Oh, yeah. Happy belated birthday. Also hit the like button, people. Greekites, yes. Tim says OL needs to be the focus in the offseason. It may need to be, or they may like where they're at. They're just not as good as they thought they were, but they can get better. But you're exactly right. It may be a point of emphasis, especially with the way they're playing with the interior line. It's been rough this year. Unfortunately, Bucs will beat some mid-tier to below-average teams, but they can't beat a good team. Canales in 2 big games against good teams has been terrible in a game plan. Joel, I think that's a fair assessment. Oh, yeah. 2 giant goop balls, and that's a problem. Like, if you want to beat some of the top teams, you've got to score more than what you've done. 6 points is not going to get it done. 11 points is not going to get it done. I mean, it's been kind of embarrassing there at home. I mean, that's supposed to be your home field advantage. You got to score more points. I get it's new offense. I get it's a new offensive play caller. But even Todd Bowles would say that once again, this team looked sluggish. I wish someone would ask about Mike Evans and the drops. Needs to be talked about. Laugh out loud. Did they sell them to the Lions fans? It's not exactly difficult to find Bucs tickets ever. The point of emphasis is the lower bowl of that stadium is usually filled with Bucs season ticket holders. And most likely, yesterday you looked, it was a lot of Lions fans. So there's no way either those Bucs fans turned into Lions fans or Bucs fans sold those tickets out there on the secondary market. Which, by the way, if you do want a great deal on tickets, and everybody thinks, just because I'm in the press box at the end of the day that I have a deal on that, I can't get you free tickets. But what I can do is tell you to go to ticketsmarter.com, put in my code SportsWeb10. You spend $100, you get $10 off. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's a big deal, my friends. And then also, if you spend $300, you put in SportsWeb20, you get $20 off. Again, ticketsmarter.com. Think smarter. Think ticketsmarter.com. And once again, SportsWeb10, if you spend $100 or more, or you spend $300 more, you get $20 off. Just trying to help you save some money here. Absolutely. All right, let's see. Are Baker throws bad, or do the Bucs need wide receivers with longer arms? I know what you're trying to do here. I'm 6'7". Maybe I should go, and maybe you could. But most likely, Andrew, goop ball there, 2 giant goop balls of the Giants podcast, because I know you want to talk about your Giants and their disappointing performance last night versus the Buffalo Bills. I know what you're trying to do. For the record, there are dumb questions on the over-under show. There are no dumb questions on the show. If the Queen had balls, okay, beer or beard? Thank you. I appreciate that. Peter brings his passion to do Michael Jackson karaoke songs. Thank you. Dumb game play. I guess he's saying play calling here. What you do during the bye week. And then Eric says, okay, again. And then Tim says, biggest concern equals OL. Again, that is the question of the night for you Bucs fans out there. What is your biggest concern for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team going into their matchup versus the Atlanta Falcons? Is it the offensive line? Is it the running game? Is it the coaching? Is it the lack of adjustments? Is it uniform? Is it fans? Is it Baker Mayfield? Is it the offense? Is it the defense? It certainly isn't the special teams. What is it? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I tell you what, let's go out to Todd Bowles after the disappointing loss to the Detroit Lions yesterday on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Here we go.
Todd, I think they were 9 of 15 on a third down, a lot of third and long. What was going on the defensive side there?
The 2 touchdowns they scored, one was 3rd and 10, one was 3rd and 14. We had 2 busts. That should have never happened, and that's on us as coaches, on us as players.
Well, what happened to the other third downs? Why were they so successful throughout the game doing it?
They got some 3rd and shorts. It wasn't 3rd and long. They got some 3rd and shorts. Give them credit on a few, and we busted a few, and we misplayed them from a leverage standpoint. So we got some work to do.
What's more frustrating, the lack of success on third down or the inability to run the ball tonight?
The entire game. When you lose a ball game, you don't have one thing that you're happy about.
Can you take us through the decision to punt on 4th and 2?
Pretty sure the ball was kind of back there at the time. It was about 11 minutes left in the game. We felt we had time. They ate up more clock than we wanted to.
Todd, this is twice with the Eagles and now with the Lions. You guys are going against some of the best in the NFC and haven't really been close. Is it disconcerting to see those 2 games not be as close as they were?
Well, I felt it was close. So, it was 10-3 at halftime. We felt we made 2 busts in the second half from a defensive standpoint. Offensively, we can do a lot better from a scoring standpoint. I thought it was a hard-fought game. I thought the mistakes we made put the game to 20-6, and we couldn't recover.
Todd, along the lines of what Greg asked, last year going back to San Francisco, Dallas in the playoffs, this year Philadelphia and Detroit, is it just that your squad doesn't match up well with physical teams?
I thought our squad matched up pretty good today. I thought we made a lot of mistakes and looked like we came off a bye week. We don't compare who we play and how we play. I think each game is different. I do think we have a good football team. I think we're young. I think it felt like we came off a bye week and we looked sluggish and we played like that.
Kalijah Kancey seemed to have played a good game today. What did you see from him?
Can't say I was totally focusing on him. I saw him get a sack at the end. I'll see the film and see what happened.
Todd, offensively, Baker's been really good on third down. He wasn't so much tonight. He missed a few throws. I know it wasn't just him, but could you talk about offensively on third down some of the frustrations?
Well, they did a good job on third down, completing a higher amount of percentage. We were, I think, 2 of 12 on third down, which was not very good at all. We weren't good on first or second down either, so you can say the whole game was a wash from an offensive standpoint.
I know the ground game has been kind of a work in progress throughout the season, but what about the screen game today? Your thoughts on that? I know it seemed like twice Baker had passes batted down at the line of scrimmage. Just your thoughts.
They're going to bat some passes down. I just don't think we functioned very well, and we moved very sluggish on offense.
Cover it looked like Baker took a hit to his nostril and shoulder late in the game. Is there any reason for concern there?
It was his hand, actually. It was his left hand, not his shoulder. X-rays were negative. He got a contusion. He should be okay.
Chris Godwin was not a large part of the game plan, at least until the final 2 minutes. Does that feel like a missed opportunity with one of your better players?
It takes 11 guys to get Chris the ball, so if we're not protecting up front or we don't have time or they're doubling him, you got to go elsewhere. Credit them for a good game plan, and, we'll go back and reload.
I know that Baker wasn't able to complete a pass to Mike Evans until the second half, and I want to say he was like 1 for 7 when targeting Trey Palmer. Was there anything they were doing defensively that was making that a challenge?
We missed some throws, obviously. They played some too high. They mixed it up pretty good. Aaron did a good job there, and we missed some throws. Again, we looked sluggish coming off a bye.
What's it going to take for this team to run the ball consistently when it wants to?
Work, practice, effort, coming together. And we're 3-2. We'll get back to work tomorrow, and we'll go from there.
Todd, you talked about the team a couple times now being sluggish off the bye week. What do you attribute that to? Was it too much time off for the players last week?
They get time off, so that's not even a question. It's a matter of executing. We're not making any excuses. They beat us. I give Dan and Detroit all the credit in the world. We know what we look like, and we got to get back to work and fix it.
When guys are sluggish out on the field, it can be not just a physical, but sometimes a mental thing too. Do you actually think was it more mental than physical, or a combination of both?
It really doesn't matter. When you lose a ball game and you're sluggish, you get back to work and you fix everything.
Todd, you mentioned Bucs on the 2 touchdowns on 3rd and long, but they had 2 other conversions on 3rd and 10 or longer to have 4 in the game. Is that more than individual Bucs? Is that a more fundamental problem?
It's a lot more when you get 3rd and 10 plus. It's not a fundamental problem. It's communication. It's things that we can do better.
How much, too, of those 3rd and longs that you guys were giving up as a defense were a function of just being out on the field for so long?
There's no function of that at all. 2 of them went for touchdowns. 3rd and long, you got to get off the field.
You mentioned the bye a couple times. Did they handle the bye week well? I mean, they were 3-1. You talked about handling success as well as.
They handled the bye week very well. They came back in shape. They practiced hard. They was in tune with the game plan. Give Detroit all the credit in the world. We make no excuses.
What's going to be your message to the team after this?
Getting back to work. I told them we look sluggish, and when you have a hard-fought game in the first half and you make too many mistakes, one team's going to come out on top. They didn't make any mistakes. We did. We lost the game.
Good.
All right, there you go. That was Todd Bowles at the end of the game yesterday after the Bucs fell to the Lions 20-6. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go ahead and wrap up some of these comments, and we'll get out of here for the night. Just to give you an update right now, Brandon Cooks with a touchdown catch from Dak Prescott, and now the Cowboys are up 17-10 over the Chargers with 11:19 left in the 4th quarter. We'll talk about more Week 6 on Wednesday night with Harry, and also get his picks for Week 7, which, by the way, he's done pretty well. So definitely watch that broadcast. And Christopher Cole says the OTs played good, but the interior O-line isn't up to snuff. I agree with you. I think it's a great comment.
Oh, yeah!
And I think they got to play better. And it's tough because you got a rookie on the right side. You've got Hansey, who I feel like has taken somewhat of a step back. He's got to play better. And then you also have the guy's escaping my thought process right now on the left guard spot. So you're exactly right. You've got to play better in that interior line, especially if you want to be physical at the point of attack. If you want to run the ball consistently, you absolutely got to get that done. With that being said, thanks to Harry the Great tonight, my co-host, Mr. FanDuel himself, and thanks to all the phone calls. We'll be back on Wednesday night. Like and follow the Sports Web on YouTube, like I Love St. Pete, of course, Bucs Life, and definitely give to the effort there of Facebook stars and, of course, YouTube chats. Do 3 things for me here on this Monday night edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. You know them, you love them, you got to have them. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. Have a great night, and we'll see you on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television.
Yeah.